It's been quite a while since I've done a video. Half because I was super busy the first few months this year, and then I just got lost in, a downfall in my business, and then also a little bit of a loss in faith of myself, which, lucky me, triggered all my depression instincts and fell into a deep dark hole that I've slowly crawled myself out of with the help of family and friends over the last month. So January, February, and halfway through March, it's just the same old stuff, did outings with the singles group and met with my friend, and worked for my various clients. At the end of March, one of my biggest and longest running clients had me come down to her house. She lives 2 hours away, and we worked on her stuff it was only supposed to be a few days, but it ended up extending a few days extra, so it ended up being almost a full week. Got a lot done. She had just gotten a new building put up, and so we needed to go through her canning again and then set up and organize the new building and everything like that. And yeah, so that was a good project. My vehicle had been damaged in December, and it still wasn't fixed. The first appointment that I had set apparently isn't licensed to fix electric vehicles. You have to have like a special training or whatever for it, and nobody in that shop even could look at the vehicle to tell me what was wrong, or to give me an estimate for the work. So then I had to call the insurance company, and the insurance company didn't have a separate list for electric vehicles. So then I had to call around to different repair shops to figure out which ones were licensed to fix electric vehicles and which ones weren't. Little hint, if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, guess what? There's only one. So I finally got an appointment for that place, and the appointment was for April, and I had to drive out there in March, and the bins she wanted me to get for the new area was from Home Depot, and they were really big, and I already had other stuff in my vehicle, and my passenger door wouldn't open. And then last minute she asked me if I could bring her assistant, who runs one of her other businesses, down with me, because she was selling one of her vehicles. And I was like, this last minute request is throwing everything off. I was already struggling with trying to finagle the bins into my vehicle in the first place, and then to add in having to have a whole person in there. None of it would have fit in my vehicle. So I ended up getting a van from Home Depot, and it wasn't really her. Yeah, I needed to get the van to accommodate her needs, but it's my car that's messed up, so I wasn't expecting her to pay for it. She pays for my hotel when I'm down there. Sorry, it's already been a long day. My price that I charge includes any travel fees, gas, mileage, all of that. So it's just one flat rate. So yeah, I rented the vehicle, but when I was there and she wanted me to extend it so we could finish her list of all the things that she wanted done, I was like, well, I don't mind staying, but that means that you're gonna have to extend my hotel. And she was like, no problem. And I was like, that also means that I have to keep this rental vehicle, and that's an extra cost as well. And she was like, that's okay, we can take care of that too. And okay, that's fine. If she's willing to pay for those extra couple days, then that's good for me. Figure I'll price it out and charge her a third or a half, however it ends up working out for those extra couple days that it was. So I get back and I do the last couple errands that are in town that I brought back with me, and I return the vehicle, and then I send the invoice for the hotel bill because I charge it to my card and then she just reimburses me. It's easier. And I send her the receipts for the things that I had returned or done or whatever. And she's like, what is this vehicle rental for? I'm like, I didn't ask you to rent this vehicle, you know, what is this charge for? And I was like, well, remember when we extended the couple days, you agreed to pay for a portion of, you agreed for the extension. I told you it would cost more because I have the van, and it would cost more because I needed the hotel for the extra couple days, and you were like, yeah, that's fine. So that's why I included that receipt, because you can see the whole price and then you can see the price that I asked you to pay, which I think it worked out to a third. It was months ago now, so I don't actually remember. And I didn't look at it before I started this video. So yeah, that happened, and just ever since that email exchange, she's been a little off. I reached out a couple times for things that I was selling for her and got no response. Then she reached out in May and asked me for a receipt for a return that I did, and I was like, she sent me an email of the item. You know, when you get those emails and they're like, hey, this hasn't been returned. She forwarded me that, and I was like, well, this could have been from any time. What was, you know, the date? Can you narrow it down to like within a few days? Because the receipts I have, if you've ever returned, and it's a lot of Amazon returns, so it's like you drop stuff off at Ups or, you know, the post office, and it doesn't tell you what the item is. It just has the tracking number or the code number or whatever it's called, and then the weight and then the date, and that information is on the receipt as well. So what she sent me was totally not helpful. And I was like, hey, can I get, you know, maybe a range of dates that this was returned, or, you know, I need more information. She never got back to me. And then a few weeks later, I get a text asking what else is left to sell. And so I turn in, okay, hey, this stuff is still selling, this store, because I do some of the consignment, some of it I sell online. So these are the few things online that haven't sold yet, and you know, the consignment still has this, and this. I don't know if it's sold or not already, but they still have it. And so last week, no, 2 weeks ago, the person I'd given a ride down to, for her vehicle that runs another portion of her businesses, she comes back. She's like, hey, can I get the keys to the shops that I sort of help do random stuff for, and any other things that, I'm probably gonna bleep that out because I said her name. Anyway, do you have any of these other things of hers? Can I get those back? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, I could see the writing on the wall at this point. And, you know, she's cut off contact, isn't reaching back, you know. But I've known this woman, she's been my client for 3 years, almost 4 years. And when a lot of my clients I end up getting really close to, unless it's like a weird one-off job. But the ones that I consistently go back and help with more stuff, I get really close to them. And I don't know if it was the communication just rubbed her the wrong way or what, but like, to just cut off contact and decide she doesn't want to be my client anymore is so disheartening. I mean, after 3 years, I mean, she knows me. Or she should by then, you know. I mean, it gets very personal. So I was very upset about that. And a few of my other clients are through her, and I haven't heard from any of them. And I've been a little scared to reach out because I'm a little nervous that they're gonna be like schluffing me off. I don't go to any of them consistently. It's like usually a few months on, a few months off. But so yeah, that happened. That was my disheartenment and my downturn in my business. And the whole thing is, I think it stemmed from the miscommunication with the van rental. And like, I asked her, it ended up being a little over $100 a day for the van. And I think I asked her to pay for like 3 days. So it was like $350. Like, keeping her as a client, keeping her happy is totally worth $350. If she had messaged me back after the original exchange of what was this for, and then I reminded her of the conversation, and if she had messaged me back after that and been like, you know, I don't really, you know, I remember part of that conversation, but I don't really think that I should have to pay this, I would have just been like, okay, no problem, I would eat that cost. Because having her as a client and the relationship that we'd built over the last 3-4 years is more important than that $350. If she feels like that wasn't a cost that she should have attributed, I can sort of see her point. I mean, yes, she agreed in the moment, and that should stand for something, but at the same time, because we've been together and working together for so long, I would have just been like, you know what, that's fine then. Totally fine, don't worry about it. Just the other receipts is fine. But she didn't. She just cut me out. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happened on the business end. And outside of that, it's been a lot of sleeping and trying to force myself to eat something and shower, because that's what my deep dark hole looks like, is no energy to get up, to go to the bathroom, to eat, to drink, to do anything other than sleep and lay there with minimum amounts of movement. By minimum, I don't even mean bathroom breaks. That's a whole chore in and of itself. So yeah, if your depression and your anxiety looks like that, I'm sorry. I feel your pain. If your depression and anxiety is different, I am sorry. I don't know exactly your pain, but I understand, and I'm sorry that you're going through that. And I hope we all have at least a couple people who continue to check in and continue to be in our lives, even though we not may be fully engaged, because I honestly don't know what I would have done without people continuously checking in. I think if I didn't have my family continuously checking in and asking me if I'm okay, even though I'm lying and saying, yeah, I'm fine, even if I'm not answering at all, even if I'm sloughing them off in the moment, it does mean something, and it does help. And I know that that's a toll on them, and having us not reciprocate back can be hard for those family members, but it really does mean a lot. So if you're one of those people supporting your person that has mental issues and difficulties, or just isn't the best communicator, it's probably mostly not you. And sometimes just having that person check in, even if they're not checking back, is a baby step that leads to another baby step that leads to another that helps. And it adds up. So don't stop. And thank you. And I will do another video talking about the last month and the things I've done to help crawl out of the hole.